Here's a song called Wonderful.
You are perfect in your own way. You are beautiful in your own way. Every day now, make it your day, 'cause it's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way. Life has chose you to express yourself just as you are, just as you are, without fear. Plant a new thought, watch it grow up in its own way. Life has chose you, life has chose you to express yourself just as you are. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. A one in a billion is what you are. That alone changed the world. I am grateful, I am grateful. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. And what a joy it is to be with you this magnificent day. I have got a talk that I think will enlighten you. Well, if not, it'll get you to question. So, hey, I know you're watching from someplace around the world. Why don't you check in? Let me know where you're watching from. Say hello to people out there. The more we say hello, the more we hit that heart button, that like button. Social media just loves that. So if you could do that, that would be just wonderful. And you know what? If today's message really hit you, do me the greatest gift that you could possibly do. Share this with others. The more we get this message out there, the more that we can help start the world to change, to become empowered. And so with that in mind, I want you to know that this week has been a really interesting week. Really interesting week for me, because as I explored the topic that we're going to talk about today, I realized I needed to do more work. I needed to do more clearing. And so I've actually been inspired by my own ability to understand what I'm going to talk about, to do my life and take my life in a whole new direction. So what a gift it is to be with you, to share with you these things. And so what I want to say to you right now is, it's time for us to just quiet our minds. Why don't you just come to a comfortable seated upright position with your back straight, your hands gently resting on your lap, and bring your awareness to your breath. Just focus on breathing in and breathing out. Knowing that with every breath that you breathe, you are breathing in life, you are breathing in light, you are breathing in oxygen. And with every breath out, you are purifying your body and purifying your mind. It is in the conscious awareness that we expand life within us. So see that breath, that light moving in, and see it moving out. And if there's anything going on in your life that is causing you stress right now, breathe into the idea. See the light surround the idea, and as the light surrounds the idea, see the idea disappear into the light. And know that the light will bring a solution. The light will answer. The light will guide and direct you. And all you have to do is listen. And if there's a part of your body that may be feeling some dis-ease, uncomfort, breathe into that part of your body and see the light surrounding that part of your body. Maybe it's your back, maybe it's your head, maybe it's a foot, maybe it's a finger. See the light surround it. And as the light surrounds it, see that body part, that tissue, that organ heal. The warm, gentle, healing nature of light. Just know that the power of your focus is not directing a power that is you. You are directing the infinite power that created all life. And there's nothing too big or too small for that power to create. So know that it's happening right here, right now, in you, through you, as you. You are the master of your life, the master of your body, the master of your mind. So having seen that, having shined that light, know that whatever you desire to be healed is made so. So fill yourself with gratitude. Give yourself thanks for just taking a moment and guiding that light to be the healing presence in your life as it is always. Bless it. And now, gently, gently, gently bring your awareness back to this time, to this place, to this moment. And open those eyes, come back into your body, and be here now. So this week, I'm going to continue with my talk series on how to use the science of mind. And we are in part 8, the effect of race thought. So I started every talk with this statement because this is the foundation from which I'm building. There is a creative power that is everywhere present. It is always responding to the nature of our thoughts, and we can consciously choose how we use it. There is one creative power. One. It's all powerful, it's everywhere present, and it responds to the nature, to the complete atmosphere of our thoughts. And guess what? We choose how we use that power. And so when I'm talking today about the power of race thought, I'm not talking about race like black or white or Chinese or Caucasian or any of that. Race, the way Ernest Holmes used it, was the human race, all of humanity. So I ask you, because I'm going to be using words that Ernest used, to understand that when I'm saying race here, I'm talking about humanity. So, the law of mind, which is the law of power, of the law of cause and effect, the law that creates all things, can only know us as we know ourselves. So the law of mind knows who we are because of who we are. How much do we know about ourselves? How wealthy do we know ourselves? How loving do we know ourselves? How kind do we know ourselves? How healthy do we know ourselves? You see, the law of mind is always producing what we know about ourselves. So whatever our life experience is, it's what the law of mind sees that we know about ourselves. So the process that we have is changing what we believe we are. You see, our knowledge of who we are is the collection of all conscious and unconscious thoughts that we have ever had. This makes up our mental atmosphere. It's who we are. And I think that's real important for me to just dwell on that just a little bit. So what is mental atmosphere? Mental atmosphere are all the conscious thoughts and the unconscious thoughts that you have ever had, ever entertained, have ever been said around you. Realize you've absorbed everything that's said about you. And that is stored in your subconscious mind. Stored in your subconscious mind. So it creates an atmosphere. That atmosphere is who you are. And the key to life is to shift that atmosphere to be a reflection of what you desire your life to be, what you desire your experience to be. That's the work. But here's an interesting thing. The accumulated experience of the whole race is lodged in the subconscious of everyone. So the entire human race, all of that consciousness is all part of the same subconsciousness that you have. So you wonder why you react a certain way. You wonder why I would think that way. Well, it's because of the collective consciousness. It's because of race consciousness that you're not even aware of that's affecting you. You see, this race consciousness operates through everyone until a passageway is cleared back through the mind to the spiritual presence, which has never been affected by race consciousness. So what we're saying here is that this race consciousness operates through us until we go back into source, into allness, into oneness. And when we go back into oneness, it no longer has an impact. This is why meditation is critical in our lives, why it's important to get into the state of oneness, because here we heal from race consciousness. It no longer impacts us there because in the oneness, everything is balanced. Because the divine only knows balance. It does not know a one-sided thing. The divine does not know disease. The divine does not know poverty. The divine does not know hatred. It knows none of those things. It knows perfect balance. But you see, in our human form, there has to be contrast. Otherwise, we couldn't have experience. And so the divine is actually experiencing itself through us. While perfection is always at the center of everything, the ages have built up a sense of disease and discord, which has been transmitted from one person to another. So time has built up these patterns. Time has built up these prejudices, and they're transferred from one to another. Our job, if we choose, is to break that passing, to break that habit, to break the influence of what is the race thought to us. It has become the general belief of the entire race, and it is having an impact on the experience of everyone. This is what race conscious does. It is becoming the general belief. There's a general belief about COVID one way, there's a general belief about COVID the other way. That's race consciousness, that there's conflict about that very thing. And it's affecting everyone until we free ourselves and see ourselves in oneness. And when we see ourselves in oneness, we see ourselves as healthy, and COVID won't touch us. In oneness, COVID cannot touch us. See, race thought passes into the life of an individual and more or less hypnotizes everyone. That's what we don't realize when we're constantly bombarded by a set of thoughts. Think about the television. In the newscast, I was in the gym the other day, and I don't listen to the news, but the news is on. There's like 20 TVs going across while I'm doing an elliptical. and they have this, the captions on, closed captions on, so you can see the print. And the headline, it's the same headline over and over and over and over, and you're bombarded with it. What is it doing, folks? It's hypnotizing us. It's hypnotizing us to develop a specific belief. And is it what they're hypnotizing us with, the truth? No, it's not the truth. It's a slanted opinion based on whoever's perspective the news media is having. Realize that today, there is no just fact. Everything out there, doesn't matter what station you're listening to, is an opinion. And that opinion, they're trying to hypnotize you into that. The key thing is, you have the power to form your own view. To form your own view that best serves your life. Our job as practitioners of the science of mind is to free ourselves from the bondage of race suggestion, from the bondage of being race hypnotized. To wake up and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, back into allness, back into I am the master of my mind. I am the master of my body. An individual's subjective and unconscious reactions to life are largely drawn from the sum total of the human experience. So most of the times when we're reacting, it's not us. It's what we've observed in society. It's that collective race consciousness that is using us as a vessel to express itself, because we don't realize we're in a state of hypnosis. You see, the whole race has created a collective field of thought and a belief which seeks to operate through everyone. When you really understand this, you realize why having a deep, daily spiritual practice is essential. Because otherwise, it will be so easy to be drawn in to where the masses are. I'll tell you, in times when COVID started, I increased my spiritual practice because I knew that with all that was going on, I needed to be more grounded, more centered than ever to be able to be a teacher of the science of mind, to be able to pass this teaching on, to support people, to gain their power, because the collective consciousness is being buzzed at us so much harder now than ever, because we have social media. We have all of this media that's nonstop blasting out race suggestion. Because we're all individuals, we cannot wait until the collective unconsciousness of the whole race is cleared up. We're individuals. We can't wait for the collective consciousness, because how's it going to change? Who's going to change it? We as individuals must break down the barriers which tie us to this new belief, to this race belief. We must break down the barriers. And you see, when we break down our barriers, we not only free ourselves, but we help free others, because we start to shift the collective consciousness. Do you get that? That's the power. When we work on ourselves and we shift our consciousness, we're actually shifting the collective. We're putting in the thoughts necessary to move that collective in a new way. I now believe in my mind that COVID is moving on, that it is no longer going to be what it was. I invite you to adopt that belief with me, because as we believe that, COVID can disappear when we get enough people believing. You want to talk about herd immunity? How about herd belief immunity, where we build a herd of conscious beings seeing a healthy world without COVID? That's an invitation I want you to accept. That's an invitation I want you to share with others, because the more of us there are, the quicker we can change the collective consciousness. You see, in spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer, one understands that negative thoughts and conditions are not entities. There's no such thing as a devil. There's no such thing as a disease. There's just a misplaced thought, a misplaced cause. And these disturbances are simply disturbances in the mind. When I talk about a disturbance of the mind, I'm talking about not realizing truth. And the truth is there's only one, and you and I and everyone are individualizations of that one. And when we embody that, it is perfect. All of the negative disappears from our lives. Negative thought patterns do not attach themselves to people, either as a result of their personal experience, or they do attach themselves. Negative thought patterns do attach themselves to people, either as a result of their own experience or race consciousness. We get attached to things. That's why the Buddha said attachment is a source of all suffering. When we attach ourselves to a negative thought, whether we're personally choosing it or race consciousness comes in and we allow ourselves to be attached to it, oh my God, we're going to have that experience. So you see, because thought and condition are one. When we change the thought, the condition is reversed. Think about that. Since thought and condition are one, you cannot separate them. When the thought is reversed, the condition must change. From the standpoint of the infinite mind, of God, of universal intelligence, of spirit, every moment is a new beginning. But it's up to us to shift our thought atmosphere in order to free ourselves from the power of the collective race atmosphere that is affecting everyone. This is where the great master came in, and he said, "It is done unto you as you believe." But what we've said, it's done unto us as we believe. I think it's time we take back our power and reclaim it and embody it is done unto us as I believe, and be responsible for our belief, because just like the infinite, every moment for each of us can be and is a new beginning. Isn't it time we embrace that? Let's go within. And as we go within, let's know that there is only one. It is infinite, it is all-knowing, it is everywhere present. It has always been. It is the seen as the unseen, the known and the unknown, and the unknowable. It is all powerful, it is all wise. And out of it, everything is created. And I and each of us, you, me, everybody, is an individualization. We are made of God stuff. We are made of stardust. And the very power that created everything is the same power that exists within us. And we can use that power. So I claim that power right here now as I speak these words, knowing that the divine wisdom that I am knows the truth about me and knows the truth for each of you, that you are now guided to see through the illusion of the collective race consciousness and realize that you have the power to change your life right here, right now. You have the power to free yourself from the collective consciousness. You have the power to create something beyond anything anyone's ever done before, because you are now tapped into the infinite wisdom, which knows infinite possibilities. And in those infinite possibilities, you are now expanding, exploring, embracing, embodying new ideas that you've never thought before. And you're now bringing them forth into your consciousness. And as you do so, they become your collective atmosphere, and the law that responds to that atmosphere says yes. And it bursts that experience. And as it bursts that experience, not only are you having that experience, but you're changing the collective consciousness for everyone. And so we raise the consciousness, we raise the vibration of the entire human race. We see a race that is clear. We see a race that is connected. We see a race without disease. We see a race without fear. We see a race with all of its basic needs being met. Because this is a state of the divine. And we are functioning at the divine level. We've stepped out of the human level into the divine level to recreate the human experience. And knowing that is our power, we embrace the concept of gratitude. Because as we give thanks for this, we affirm it in a way that is so powerful that the law of cause and effect instantly responds. So in gratitude, I have spoken these words. In gratitude, I see the prayer having been answered. In gratitude, I release it and know it to be done. I bless it. I call it good. And so it is. Amen. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for taking your valuable time and being with me today. If this message touched you, I would invite you to support us. I would invite you to make a contribution to the Agape Spiritual Center. You can do so in a link there on YouTube or a link on Facebook, or you can go to agapespiritualcenter.com and make a donation. Better yet, become an automated giver. Go online to Agape Spiritual Center, click on the give button, become an automated giver. Give $25 a week. That will really help us bring this message to greater and greater and greater numbers of people. The other thing that I would say to you while you're on agapespiritualcenter.com, go to the calendar and look at everything we offer and plug in. Become a part of this community. Become a part of the working nature of this community, because I promise you, when you do, you will become a part of something that is transforming its very nature, and you will transform and be supported by others just like you. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. We can do this together. And you'll also notice, if you want my daily thoughts, you can get them by signing up for the Agape newsletter at agapespiritualcenter.com. Please sign up. But most of all, take personal responsibility for your life. Begin a daily spiritual practice. And above all, don't be afraid to share this. This is a message I believe the world could use. And you are the perfect messenger. There are people that are looking to hear truth as only you can speak. So with that, I want to tell you, I see who you are. I love you. I accept you for who you are, and wish you the most magnificent creative week ever. Until next time,